All right, in this video this morning, we're going to enter an order in CC360 for machines. In this equation, we have a quote number up here at the top left portion of our screen that's already been generated by the sales manager within Power Equipment Company. So if we're entering an order for a machine, we want to make sure that first that the sales team has done their due diligence to enter that quote in CC360. That prevents us from internally from making errors, like including very specific features and engineering items that the sales team needs to confer with the customer on and then put in the system, so that the inside team doesn't have to miss any of those errors or question what they need to do. In this case, we will proceed forward, just kind of going through an overview of how this quote looks. This is the quote number. If you would be given the quote number from the sales team, you would type this quote number in right here at the top bar. This top bar right here, you can search by quote, etc. In this case, this has already been set up in the system. So we have gotten a purchase order from our system, from the sales team, as well as this quote number right here. And so we've done our due diligence to make a quote number in Great Plains, sales order and purchase order. And so now we're in the place where we are going to proceed to get this order to the system and how to do this. So I'm going to change the status of the order to order 1. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to create a SAP order. Okay, and so as I roll through here, I'm going to proceed forward with the next steps here. All right, the first thing is I want to make sure that it's under this account, which is our Memphis account. This is a Memphis purchase order, the ship to. So I'm going to go through all of my different options here, and I'm going to go to a drop ship. So I want to enter the order here. These select different accounts. Those are different accounts that we have within Gardner Denver as approved special discounts, mainly for parts pricing. Okay, so next thing I'm going to go to is I'm going to go to the carriers, and I can let Gardner Denver choice is fine in this instance based upon my knowledge of the purchase order, but that is going to have to be something that you would know based upon looking at the purchase order of who the customer is. Gardner Denver choice is fine. In this case, we want to do freight, adding the freight to the invoice based on my knowledge of the sales order and the purchase order from the customer. Next thing I'm going to go to is the purchase order. And I'm going to enter the purchase order number here, which is what you get from Great Plains. And I'm always going to request the ship date as the first date as possible. This next button here is the complete delivery button. I do want it to be complete delivery. And like I said, that's another one of those things that's based upon the knowledge of what the customer wants. And in this case, this customer wants it to be shipped complete. So one of the questions that you'll get is, well, from Gardner Denver, after you submit this order, and we're going a little bit ahead while I enter this information, is they will say, well, we're buying a bunch of different items. You guys saw how many items were on this sales order. We can't ship them all together. They're going to come in from multiple different locations. And the answer to that is that's okay. However, they can coordinate to make sure that they are all shipping together when all of the equipment is ready. Just from my knowledge working with Gardner Denver, there's a lot of times where the dryers are ready to go before the compressors are ready to go. And usually the dryer suppliers are pretty, for Gardner Nimmer, are pretty aggressive as wanting to get those out the door. And this button, I like to put the PO number so it's referenced on a document. Okay, now I'm going to put some shipping notes. Please ship. So I put in here, I think you can see, I told him to give me 48 hours notice prior to shipment. And doing that will allow me to prepare my customer that this is ready to ship. It also prevents them from doing what we talked about earlier, which is trying to get away with shipping these not complete, which is not right. Not something that we want. Okay. So I've done my due diligence. Everything above looks good. The next part here is reviewing my line items. Making sure that my quantities match my costs here in my purchase order internally, but that's a pretty common step for what you guys do on a day-to-day basis entering regular sales orders. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed, and I've done my due diligence to make sure that those look good. I'm going to go ahead and stimulate the order. And then this is kind of like getting all your boxes checked, making sure you got them all and they don't throw up any red flags saying, hey, you didn't fill this out. Usually it takes a little bit. All right, awesome. Now we're at the place where we can create the order. This is your, hey, this is my last check before I submit an order, send an order in, which is very expensive. And that's the amount of money. I hit the create order button. And it should give you a Gardner Nimmer sales order number that you can reference when Gardner Nimmer sends in a weekly back order report for you to update the sales team, and then they can update the customer on when these items are going to arrive. And just be aware that you can't always trust these estimated ship dates, so we have a back order report that does those for you. Up here is the Gardner Nimmer order number, which is a good thing to write down on your purchase order so you have reference to that. Then you follow your steps of sending a sales order to the customer to acknowledge the purchase order and start the process of tracking this order to make sure it comes in and give the customer updates until it comes in, and follow your invoicing process. Thanks so much for your time.